In this video, we'll try and understand that how do websites work. And that way, we'll also try to understand the role of HTML, CSS, JavaScript in web development. By the way, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language and CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. Okay, so now let's see how things work over here. Now let's say you want to surf the internet or you want to browse some particular website. In order to surf the internet, you will need a web browser like Google Chrome or Safari or Firefox and so on. So if you want to surf the internet, what you will do is you will open your web browser on which you will type some address, some URL, something like www.google.co.in. Now, after giving this address on the address bar, you will hit the enter key. Now let's understand what happens when you hit the enter key. The moment you hit the enter key, your computer will request the Google server for this home page. Okay. Now what the Google server will do is it will send some data to your computer. Your browser will receive that data and will process that data. And after processing that data, it will give this particular web page. So the web page which you see over here is actually the output of the data which the Google server has sent you. Now let's understand what happens over here behind the scenes. As I told you that the server is going to send you some data. Now the data which is sent by server to our computer is of three types, and those three types are HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Or I will say this in this manner that a server over here will send us three different types of codes: the HTML code, the CSS code and the JavaScript code. Now the question over here is, what is the role of each of these codes? What will HTML do? What will CSS do? And so on. So what HTML will do is it will define the structure of your website. So in the HTML code, we will specify that we want to display a heading, we want to display a paragraph, we want to display an image and so on. So the basic structure of the website is decided by HTML. Now what will CSS do? So CSS will add styling to our web page. So if we want a particular heading in different colors, okay, or if we want a particular font, if we want borders across a particular paragraph, then that is all decided by CSS. It does the work of beautifying, adding styling to our web page. Now what JavaScript will do is it will make our web page functional. It will add behavior to our code, after which we can do some work on our website. Now if you still don't understand this, then let's take example. Let's take an analogy of construction of a house. So if you are constructing a house, then the first person who will work on your house will be a construction worker, a builder. Now what this construction worker will do is he will build floors, ceiling, walls and so on. Now tell me one thing, will you go and stay in an empty house with just walls and ceiling and floor in it? Obviously you will not. Okay, everybody needs a house which looks good enough. So the next thing is that you will hire a painter, and this painter will beautify your walls by painting it. Maybe you will hire an interior decorator who will add further decoration to your house. So the work of this painter and interior decorator is to make your house look good. But will you still go and stay now? No, you will not. Now the next person who comes into picture is an electrician. So what this electrician will do is he will fix the tube light, he will fix the fan, he will make all the electrical equipments functional. Similar role is played by a plumber who will see to it that water supply comes to your house properly. Okay. So now after the electrician and plumber have played their roles, your house has become functional and you will probably go there and stay. So over here, this construction worker is similar to HTML. So HTML does what? It basically creates a structure for the website. The painter over here is similar to CSS. So what CSS will do is it will style your website. And this electrician and plumber over here, they are similar to JavaScript. That means they will make That means JavaScript will make your website functional, okay, so that you can use the website, someone can use the website. Now if you still don't understand this, no problem, let's take a live example. Things are going to be interesting, okay, pay good attention. Now this is my Chrome browser on which I will type www.google.co.in, alright, and I hit the enter key. Oh, I don't have the internet. Let me just connect to the internet. Just give me a minute. Alright, so now once again I go back. Alright, and I'll type over here www.google.co.in, okay, and I hit the enter key. The moment I hit the enter key, as I explained you, the server will send us some data. Our browser will receive that data, process that data, and will display this particular web page, okay. Now, as I was telling you that this particular web page is actually the output of the code which the server has sent us. Now, do you want to see that code? Let's see that. This will be useful to you in future also. So what we can do is we can see that code in two ways. One is we can go to this developer and we can go to this view source. Okay. Sorry. So in this view source, this is the code, okay, which the server has sent us. See, it looks so complex right now. Okay, this code has JavaScript and CSS details of this code. Okay, I'll close this. Similarly, there's one more thing which you can do over here. You can use this feature of inspect elements also. Now, if you want to use this feature of inspect elements, either you can go from here, or there's one more way you can go into this inspect. What one more way? Look carefully. See, let's say I want to see the code of this thing, this Google, which is typed over here. Okay. So what I will do is I will right click on it. Okay. And I will click on inspect. Alright. So now what you see over here, see, okay, what you see over here above my mouse pointer, this is the code which is responsible for displaying that Google. Moreover, if you want to see the CSS styling of this, okay, then that styling you can see this under styles. So this thing, look where my mouse pointer moves, this is all the CSS code. This is all the CSS code. This is the HTML code. So we'll be using this feature of the Chrome browser very often later on also, the feature of inspect elements, okay. Anyway, right now to make things simple for you, what I have done is, okay, I hope you must be knowing that you can add some extensions to the Chrome browser. So what you can do is you can add one extension to the Chrome browser called Web Developer Toolbar. Okay, if you simply search over here, you will probably get its Web Developer Toolbar. Okay, look. All right, so this is the Web Developer Toolbar. Okay, if you just click over here, it will get added to the Chrome. Alright, so right now this thing, this icon which you see over here, okay, see it says Web Developer. So this is the Web Developer Toolbar. Now why I have added this, I will show you very soon. Now let me again go to that Google page. So I'll go to google.co.in. Alright, okay, now this is the Web Developer Toolbar. Okay, I click on it. Now when I click on it, over here you will see several options. So one option which you see over here is disable all styles. Okay, so styles over here means the CSS code. Okay, so if I disable this, now see what is going to happen. Okay, see carefully. Do you see this? Okay, now what you see over here, this thing, this is the same Google page which you saw a minute back. But now what has happened is I have disabled the CSS styling, and because I have disabled the CSS styling, see what has happened, see how it looks. So basically this is the work which is done by CSS. CSS beautifies our website. I will also take a minute over here to explain you the importance of CSS. See, many students, they don't give importance to CSS. But do you know one thing? That good CSS developers, they earn much more money than Python and Java developers. Yes, you heard it right. Much more than even Python developers. Why? See, it's simple to understand. Now, let's say Google looks like this. Let's say this is the way in which Google homepage looks like. So, will you ever feel like surfing this particular website, this particular web page? No, you won't. We all like those web pages, those websites which look good, which appeal to us. Okay. So, what happens is companies, software companies which develop websites, they are often looking for good CSS developers. On the other hand, students don't give importance to CSS, because of which there are not many good CSS developers in the market. So what happens is there is a considerable difference in the demand and supply over here. There is a good demand for CSS developers, but there is not enough supply for CSS developers. As a result of which, if you're good in CSS, you will end up earning much more money than other Python and Java programmers. So take CSS very seriously, guys. It's not something which is insignificant. Okay. So now anyway, coming back to our point, what I did over here is I have disabled the CSS code over here, which means I have removed the styling from the Google homepage, and see now how it looks like. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll add that styling. So I'll again click on this. Okay. And see our page returns to normal. Okay. Now let me show you the importance of JavaScript over here. As I told you a few minutes back that JavaScript will make your page functional. Now what do I mean when I say functional? So let's say I type over here, see what I'm doing, I'm typing over here benefits of yoga. See, okay, so let's say I type benefits, okay, of. Now you should notice over here, as I keep on typing, these options are getting changed dynamically. Okay, dynamically Google is displaying different options for me. So when I type Y, it will now show all the options starting with Y. See, benefits of yoga, yogurt, and so on. All right. If I type YOG, so again it will change these options. So this thing, okay, this feature where the options are getting changed dynamically, this feature is provided to you by JavaScript. It is because of JavaScript, this searching has become functional. Now what I will do is, look, I will disable JavaScript. Okay, so look over here, disable, and now see I am disabling JavaScript, so I disable it. Okay, now I'll just refresh the page again. Okay, and now again I'll type over here benefits. See, nothing is happening of yoga. See, nothing has happened. Okay, and over here nothing happened because you have disabled JavaScript over here. So it was JavaScript which made your web page functional. So let me enable it once again. All right. After you make changes, don't forget to refresh this. And again, see benefits, and again it comes. So I hope you understood the role of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in website development.